Welcome to White, to our website, ethicsofcare.org. We listened to your beautiful topic, and I'd like to ask you a few short questions. Your keynote topic is perfecting people, social and ethical contradictions of utopian biology. Could you please explain shortly what utopian biology is?
It's just a term that I've used to describe the way in which developments in the more technological biologies have recently been used by policymakers to undertake the perfectly understandable aspiration to make the world a better place for people. So that's what I mean by utopia. And the reason why these new biologies, we might call them neuroscience and epigenetics in particular, seem to enable that to happen is because they focus on the plasticity of the human organism, the brain and the genetic material of which we are composed. Epigenetics is about modifications to the way in which DNA is expressed, which can make people basically have a better or worse life. So there's a whole movement called the Developmental Origins of Health and Disease, which again has a laudable aspiration of trying to rid the world of disease. So that's the sense in which it's utopian, because it's sort of trying to fix people. And one can see progressive applications of those ideas, but there is also a heavy moral and political weight to these attempts to make people better, because the notion of optimising human development carries with it potential responsibilities. If we can boost brains, then shouldn't the state be boosting them? If babies can have better lives by controlling the way their mothers behave way before they're pregnant, maybe the state should be enforcing that. So you've got it's Janus-faced. It sounds like it's going to provide a really strong way forward, and there are certainly indications that some of these biological understandings may produce new forms of cancer drug, for example, because of understanding in much more detail what's happening at the molecular level in cells. However, if you look at the discourses that are associated with the Doha paradigm, the developmental origins of health and disease, there's an awful lot of attention to maternal behaviour. There's an odd mention of men here and there, but usually it's women, women's bodies, what women's bodies are exposed to, and all sorts of imperatives about lifestyle. And it's very strongly linked to what we might call prevention science, which is very dominant in the United States. So whilst it seems to promise improvement, it brings with it surveillance as well, and potentially invites pharmacological interventions to cure what are actually social problems caused by unequal access to a decent life. Can we fix people not having a decent life by giving them a drug that alters the body's response to not having a decent life? And if we can, should we?
And could you please explain to me what are the main social and ethical contradictions that you identify?
Well, I think, as I've just said really, that the fact that biology is not seen as being determined anymore in a kind of Darwinian heredity point of view, so your genes aren't necessarily fixed for life, that could be liberating. It creates the possibility that people might be better, but it also means that you could be given an imperative to ensure that you keep the epigenome in as good a condition as it was when you received it, which could create a whole set of really quite potentially puritanical imperatives about what you eat, what you drink, what you exercise, who you spend time with, whether you're stressed. And one of the contradictions is that it creates new mandates for the state to act in our best interests. But what does the state do if the person they think should be acting differently doesn't act differently?
Thank you
what
very
happens
much.
if that person is carrying a child?
So I think that brings me to my last question. What's precisely the relation between vulnerability and this desire to perfect people?
Well, that's a very tricky one, isn't it? I mean, in a sense, the kind of dark side of the plastic biology is that everybody's perpetually vulnerable, precariously normal. So, something might go wrong. They might incur some kind of molecular biological damage, either in this generation or in subsequent generations. And it maybe potentially can alter the responses to vulnerability. Do we talk about social vulnerability? Are we going to get rid of social vulnerability and have biological?
There's so many vulnerabilities, aren't there? Like biological, but intertwined with social and political vulnerability.
And are people? What happens to populations who are politically disenfranchised and politically marginalised? What happens then? And do you deal with this with social deprivation head on, or do you give people imperatives to change their lifestyle and somehow hold them biologically responsible, or their parents biologically responsible for the fact they are living in social deprivation? I think there are contradictions.
Thank you, Professor Sue White.
Thank you.